Life is a series of chapters. And when one door closes, God's got another chapter waiting for you. And He sits back and waits to see if we ever figure out what that next chapter is. And once in a while, as a person ages, they believe that and they live that. And they stay young. And they figure out something new that they love to do. And every one of these men do that. They've all had different chapters in their life. And this chapter of 60 and over, world class, going around, inspiring people with what they can do, but most importantly, giving back. What they did in the Dominican Republic, etc. Priceless. And they teach us that's the way to live. And they're the happiest people.
So much more than just it's a softball game. You know, these guys are going to make a community better with the whole giving concept. I don't think anybody out there compares. I don't think anybody's doing what they're doing. I mean, for Team Hollis to have embraced the possibility of bringing a Dominican kid of poor resources in the Dominican Republic over here to the States to have an education and to have a future, a chance at that, you know, that alone, it sets them apart. It's something that, who else is doing that?
Well, I wonder if they got softball down there. And so I get connected with a guy with softball. All of a sudden, we've changed people's lives because we built wells in the mountain for them. I never thought in a trillion years I'd ever build a well in a mountain in the Dominican Republic, because I have two boys from the Dominican that are living with me, which is unbelievable. And none of that was planned. Have a good day, man. What does that mean? What? Hey, say hey.
What?
Huh? What did he say?
He said, see you later.
Well, I think Raphael had a big part in this, because had Raphael not starting Giving Feels Awesome and collecting equipment up at Pizza Gallery, Ed never would have known about this, most likely.
The gentleman, Rafael Nunez, told me about this movie called The Player. And I watched The Player, the movie, and if you have a chance, watch it. It tells you about what happens down in the DR. I watched that and I thought that these kids are being taken advantage of. So that was in the back of my mind. And I said, you know what I'd love to do is give a young man a chance to come here and go to school. So I told him, I said, if you found a boy that was a good athlete, because I'm not a rocket scientist, I'm not going to teach him in geometry. I can hire tutors for that. So I got down there, and sure enough, Raphael had a friend that had a son, a little skinny boy, about 130 pounds, and we ended up bringing him over here, and it was a unique experience. We never thought out the whole process, and we never thought our granddaughter would say, "Oh, you're replacing me." No, we're not replacing you, honey. And I think it was my coaching was not over with.
I mean, you think about Dionis coming from the DR and getting the opportunity over here. I mean, you're talking about changing family trees here. I mean, Dionis gets over here, gets an education, could start a business, could go make a six-figure income. I mean, the world's changing. He's bilingual. I mean, so many just from really the sport of softball.
That little Jersey boy that grew up running them streets was responsible for people from another country changing their lives. And what will those two young men do to change other people's lives? If that's not a legacy for my family to learn from. When my grandkids look at that from the correct perspective, you know, they're already special people, and what are they going to do?
It was an amazing experience yesterday when we arrived here. We were greeted by all the townspeople, the mayor, and a lot of people, a lot of wonderful young people who showed some of their cultural dances and the music for us. It was just amazing. They welcomed us to the city. They had all of the Little League teams here. It was an amazing, amazing experience.
Fixing to play guys from 17, I think the youngest guy is 17, the oldest is 50, and we got a couple of our guys, our Dominicans that are living in the States with us, and they're playing with us, and they're 16. So, and our oldest guy is, I think, me, 68. So we're fixing to take on the young boys and see what happens, and let's go get them.
You know, we're going to keep it in perspective. We're here to be good ambassadors, be good sports, but we're going to be competitive as we can be. There's some good players over here.
I just went over there, and you know, Raphael wanted me to tell me that we're going to beat them, right? But I used American logic. Guys, you're going to beat us by 50 runs. You all look like you should be in the major leagues, man. Just take it easy on us old people.
There you go.
Now we go show 'em.
That's right. The managers, they were like, this was such a huge deal to them, you know, that we would travel there. And they made the speech that the major league players are from here. They have tons of money. They don't do anything, especially for the small town. I know everybody, hundreds of people went to Dominican Republic, to the resorts on the ocean. I don't know anybody that's went to Nagua. They really warmed up to us. I don't think they knew what to think at the beginning. I gave a kid a bat, and he just put his head down, and I asked Raphael if he was all right, and he goes, yeah, he's overwhelmed.
The concept is simple. It's connecting the haves with the don't haves. There's a lot of things we discard in our houses, a lot of things that pile up in our garages, in a room, in a closet somewhere. and somebody's expecting it, somebody has a use for it. And rather than selling it or throwing it away, connecting those people that need it with those that have, and making it happen, creating that connection, not letting it go to waste, and having people be very grateful for receiving it.